Now the floor is given to Colonel Dmytro Hutsulyak, Ministry of Defense of Ukraine spokesperson. Good afternoon, everyone. During the last 24 hours, on the 29th of March, before the introduction of the Easter holiday ceasefire, starting from midnight on the 30th of March 2018, the situation at the line of confrontation remained without changes. Our defenders recorded further firing activity of the militants of Russian occupation forces. During the last 24 hours in the Lugansk sector, the occupants delivered 2 precision shellings of our defense positions. During the second part of the day, the enemy used large-caliber machine guns against defenders of Lugansk. Later, after 8 p.m., the enemy delivered fire at the positions near Zalizna-Artemovo with the use of grenade launchers of different systems, large-caliber machine guns and small arms. Here, servicemen of the armed forces of Ukraine returned fire with the use of small arms and adequately forced occupants to stop shelling. In the Donetsk sector, 55 shellings delivered by Russian occupation forces were recorded, out of which 53 were identified as precision ones. The enemy twice used at the positions of our defenders 82mm mortars, and this was recorded yesterday after 6 for 1 hour in the region of Pavlopil and at about 11 in the region of Shirokino. The highest activity of the occupants was recorded, repeated use of grenade launches of different systems, weaponry of IFVs, large-caliber machine guns and small arms. This fire was delivered by occupants near Vodiane, Avdiivka, Talakivka, Pavlopil, Gnutova, Marienka, Shirokina, Novotroitske, Verkhneteretse. Our positions came under enemy fire in the region of Lebedinska, Kamenka, Pishevik, Opatna, and Butivka mine. In the prevailing majority of instances, in order to preserve lives and health of military personnel, our forces returned fire with the use of weapons that are not prohibited by the Minsk agreements. These were service infantry weapons. Overall, during the last 24 hours, 57 shellings of our defense positions were recorded, out of which 55 were identified as precision ones. Our servicemen 38 times were forced to return adequate fire using service small arms. Unfortunately, in the result of massive shellings delivered by Russian occupation forces, 2 servicemen of Ukraine were injured, 1 more serviceman was wounded. They were promptly brought to a medical institution. State of health of 1 of our defender is heavy and 2 servicemen are in satisfactory condition. Yesterday, on the 29th of March, administration of President of Ukraine made public an announcement that leaders of Normandy 4, Ukraine, Germany, France and Russia praised the agreement concerning renewal of the Easter holiday ceasefire regime starting on the 30th of March 2018. This agreement was reached by Trilateral Contact Group on the 26th of March 2018. The leaders stressed the importance of strict adherence to the agreement and assurance of efficient monitoring and verification by SMM-OECE. But today, on the 30th of March, starting midnight as of 11, 6 violations of ceasefire regime was recorded, and 2 times defenders of Talakivka came under enemy fire. The occupants launched 10 mines of 82mm caliber. Militants also delivered fire with the use of small arms at the defenders of Avdiivka, Opatna, Vodiane, and Pavlopil. We stress that the units of the armed forces of Ukraine are ready to strictly adhere to a ceasefire holidays and ceasefire regime starting midnight 30th of March 2018 along the line of contact. And the ATO headquarters states that only in case of threat to lives and health of civilians, military personnel of the armed forces of Ukraine, or in case of provocative actions by militants of Occupation Administration of Russian Federation. Armed forces of Ukraine are ready to respond immediately and adequately. According to the information provided by the main intelligence department of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, Command of Russian occupation forces in the temporarily occupied territories of the Donetsk and Lugansk Oblast, increasingly treacherous means to force local population to serve in the so-called military service in the 1st and 2nd Army Corps of occupation forces. At the end of April 2018, they envisage new mobilization of citizens for military meetings that will be held in small units of Russian occupation forces. Lists of candidates for meetings have been handed over by so-called military commissariats to so-called local law enforcement bodies. In connection with this, there is an increase in the number of instances of confiscation by law enforcement from the prospective reservists under any insignificant pretext. They confiscate passports, military cards, in order to call them up for so-called military service. In this way, in separate settlements, they plan to call up more than 500 people to Russian occupation forces. Thank you.